the Sky Daddy misconception. Let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the insult in the room. The Sky Daddy idea. You've probably heard this term tossed around to mock belief in God as if he's just some old guy with a beard floating in the clouds. And honestly, if that's your view of God, I don't blame you for rejecting it. But that's not who God is. The Creator isn't some physical being trapped in the universe looking down on us from the sky. He's not bound by space or time. He's beyond all of that. Think of it like this. Mocking God as a Sky Daddy is like criticizing the author for not being one of the characters in their own book. The Creator isn't just another part of the universe. He's the one who made it and the reason it continues to exist. And if you're imagining God as a big human in the clouds, you're not rejecting God, you're rejecting a caricature. Number two, the idea that God is distant or uninvolved. Another misconception is that God is distant, like a watchmaker who built the universe, wound it up, and left it to run on its own. But we've already seen how that doesn't hold up. The universe isn't a self-sustaining machine. It requires constant input to exist. And that input comes from God, who is actively involved in every moment. God isn't sitting back, detached from his creation. He's present everywhere and in everything. He's in the laws of physics, the beat of your heart, and even the breath you just took. He's not watching from the sidelines. He's in the game, sustaining and interacting with his creation. Number three, the misunderstanding of God's nature. Another misconception is that God is limited, like he's just a bigger, smarter version of us. But God's not a better human. He's infinite, omnipresent, omniscient, and and those aren't just fancy words, they mean something profound. Omnipresent is God is everywhere, not just because he's stretched thin, but because he's not confined by space. Wherever you are, God is fully present. You can't escape him, and honestly, that's comforting. Omniscient, God knows everything, past, present, and future. He doesn't just know the laws of the universe, he wrote them. He doesn't just know your actions, he knows your heart. God's power isn't limited by anything. He doesn't get tired. He doesn't run out of energy. That same power that created galaxies is available to work in your life. Number four, the misconception that God is irrelevant. Some people think, okay, maybe there's a creator, but what does that have to do with me? Why does it even matter? Here's why it matters. If God is the one sustaining the universe, that means that your existence isn't an accident. You're not here by chance. You were created intentionally, and you're being sustained by a creator who cares about you. This isn't just about understanding mechanics of the universe, it's about understanding your place in it. If God is the sustainer, then he's sustaining you. And if he's omniscient, then he knows you better than you know yourself. He's not irrelevant, he's foundational to everything. Number five, God's immanence, why he's not far away. One of the most powerful truths that we've covered here is that God is not just out there, he's here, right now. He's closer than the air that you're breathing. You don't have to look up to the sky to find him because he's present in every part of creation. This is where science and faith come together beautifully. Quantum mechanics tells us that particles need an observer to exist. Thermodynamics tells us that the universe is constantly fighting against entropy. And every piece of evidence that we've looked at today points to a creator who is active, present, and deeply involved in the world and in your own life. So let's clear the table of the misconceptions. God isn't some cosmic grandpa sitting in the clouds. He's not distant or detached. He's not just a bigger version of us. He's the infinite, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent creator and sustainer of everything. And here's the best part. He's not just sustaining the universe, he's sustaining you. The question is, will you let that truth change the way that you see him? Because once you stop seeing God through the lens of these misconceptions, you start to realize just how powerful, personal, and present he really is. All right, so we've covered a lot today. We've talked about the creator who exists outside of space and time, the scientific evidence that points to him, his role as the sustainer of the universe, and the misconceptions that get in the way of seeing him for who he really is. Now, let's bring it all together.